Hello, empaths. Welcome. I hope all of you are doing very, very well. Blessings, love, and light to you. These are your empath tips for this week. My name is Eileen. I am an intuitive empath, and I want to start by talking a little bit about the pulse of our empath collective over the last couple of weeks. As we all know, our world is a series of hills and valleys, ups and downs. The crazy meets the crazier. And we are all just trying to navigate the best we can and adjust to all of the highs and lows and, fulfill our mission assignments with grace and dignity, staying in our lane, staying grounded, helping the humans that are a part of our path and our destiny also navigate the challenges that occur on this human journey. That's part of our work as empaths. We have to learn to love ourselves. We have to learn to anchor and ground all these energies that are swirling, about coming in and out of the field. We have to learn to recognize what and who are our assignments from the divine versus those energy vampires and nefarious, manipulative types of humans that are not actually going to serve our highest good. We empaths, with all of our sensitivity, our compassion, our kindness, our empathy, we do sometimes have to say no. We do sometimes have to say a firm no, back off. And we have to stand our ground. And it's very interesting being an empath because as loving and kind as most of us are, there are opportunities, plenty of them on this journey for us to learn how to be a little bit aggressive, assertive, but when necessary, aggressive. And believe it or not, powerful punches can come out of an empath. We are capable, we are possible, and people violating our boundaries and crossing the line enough times builds some incredible empath muscle and gives us the fortitude and the wherewithal and the courage to say no when it is time to say no. And it's very healthy for us. So empaths, based on all of the energies that are swirling around, I do want to encourage you all the things: drink water, get nourishment, get rest, protect your energy field, watch who you're hanging out with, watch what you bring into your consciousness, especially before going to bed. If you are a person who watches the news or loves scary movies or whatever your thing is, just be very cognizant of the type of social media you are allowing into your consciousness, into your psyche, into your heart space, into your energy field, especially before you go to sleep at night. We often do a lot of our work, empaths, at night while we're sleeping, because the spirit doesn't sleep and the subconscious doesn't sleep. And so there's a lot of energetic work that we do, and you want to make sure that your channel is pure, even in your sleeping hours while the physical body is getting rested and refreshed. You might be doing incredible spiritual work that needs you to be pristine and on point. So be very careful what you allow in your field and in your consciousness and in your psyche. Make sure you deactivate and release what no longer serves before you go to sleep at night. I do also encourage you to perhaps check out some of the other videos that are on this channel. Empaths say no sometimes. There's a talk on staying grounded, being anchored. There's a little short video on playing with nature. So if you go back and look at Empaths Stay Grounded, I talk about the 5 ways that we empaths are able to stay anchored and grounded and not become dysregulated as all of these different energies are swirling. So I do encourage you, if it interests you, to go and check out some of the other videos on this channel, all channeled by the divine team that I work with and offered to humanity as a love offering to assist you on your path. It may not resonate with every empath, light worker, or star seed, but it is truly given from my heart and with the purity of intent so that it will find those who need these messages at the divine timing that is appropriate for you. So today we are talking about, ironically, not ironically, intentionally, empaths protect themselves, or I could say empath, protect yourself. So we already know this, but I'm going to go, I'm preaching to the choir because you guys already know, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's so very important that we all be on the same page as a collective and that we remember these things. Manipulative and nefarious beings, they do exist, and they are envious of you, and they want the purity of your light. Now, this talk is not designed to scare you. It is designed to remind you of the seriousness of our calling and how there are beings, nefarious beings, energy vampires, entities that want to squash our light. They want to take what we have. They love to prevent us from fulfilling our path, but they also pretty much want to eat us alive because we taste good, we smell good, we feel good, and they want to harness our pure light energy. Okay, so this is not designed to scare you. We are protected, we are blessed, and at the end of this talk, if you look in the description box, I have offered some protective prayers and some cord cutting and cord dissolving exercises that I do. Okay, so unlike these nefarious beings, you manifest your creations by being in alignment with the divine universal plan. You use your pure heart structure, you get the commands from base, and you manifest from there. You embrace universal truth and oneness. Okay, but power and control structures want to dominate at all costs. They don't care about oneness. They don't care about pure love, living from the heart space, or any of the pure light constructs that we have been talking about on this channel. As an empath, you must be aware of this. Your alignment with the divine, it annoys these nefarious beings. Your alignment, your pure heart structure, your divine connection, your beauty, your pristine light, it does annoy these beings because they have evil maniacal agendas and they have a need to destroy your bond with the divinity of God, creation, the universe. They desire to get you off course. They feed off of your energy. And so if your energy is discombobulated, frazzled, anxious, or affected by nefarious plans, it's a win for them because it prevents you from doing your soul work, and it prevents those humans that you've been assigned to from receiving whatever enlightenment or healing was designed for them. You could say that we're involved in a very deep, intense spiritual warfare, one that may be invisible, but is certainly palpable. We all feel it. So as empaths, we are open channels for energetic and emotional intensity. We know that, right? We've known that since we were very young. We may not have put it in those words, but we knew we were feeling intensity, emotional intensity, and energetic intensity. So empaths have very powerful gifts. We are highly sensitive, as you know, and this does help us do our service work. However, we empaths are also so energy sensitive because we're open, okay? And so as open beings, this makes us susceptible to a variety of experiences and energies that can leave us drained. When we do our soul work, or even if we're just going through life, la, 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 you go to the grocery store, you're just doing regular human stuff, you can still end up being depleted and even hijacked emotionally or energetically because of this natural openness that we have. So we have to learn to protect ourselves in a very sharp, very pristine way. As energy sensitives, we witness and or absorb the emotional intensity of others and other situations that are going on around us. So look at what's going on in our world right now, depending on where you live, depending on your soul work, your mission assignments, depending on how close you are to certain things that are happening in our world, you are feeling it in one way or another, some of us more than others. Without protection, we are prey to energy vampires. Energy vampires can be human or non-human, okay? They can be situations and they can be entities or they can be nefarious energies. They take the form of energetic parasites, entities, negative energies, and nefarious beings. That's what an energy vampire is. So spiritual protection allows us to avoid these energies that have malicious intent towards us, okay? Any of these entities and these negative spirits cannot enter in, although we are open channels, they cannot enter in and hijack our light and harness our energy if we have solid protection in place. These nefarious beings do look for bright lighted people who are open and without protection. So this is why it's so very important that we maintain our armor. It must be on at all times. They lurk about and search for vulnerable empaths. The natural openness that we empaths have makes us susceptible to receive low vibration energy or the influence of these manipulative energies. The light in us, dear hearts, from the time we were born is so pure that these beings love to leech off of empaths. They like to leech off of us like parasites who suck the life force out of a host. Without protection, we are left vulnerable and our emotions can be hijacked as well. So not only energetically depleted and noticing fatigue, but our emotions, we can be all over the place emotionally. And that's not a good look for an empath because we are so emotional, right? We absorb so much emotional intensity. If we're not balanced, if we're not protected, then our emotions can be all over the place. Our physical bodies and our spiritual practices can also be hijacked if we don't have solid protection. So even if you have solid spiritual practices that you love to do, you might find that you just don't have the energy to meditate, or you just don't feel like participating in that ceremony that you do annually. You're just not feeling like praying or whatever it is that you do. You're not feeling like connecting with spirit in the way that you want to, but you just don't have the energy to do it. Oftentimes that's because you've been hijacked. So strong protective mechanisms, whether those are rituals or ceremonies, saging, whatever it is you do, salt baths, whatever it is you do, protects our soul work. As an empath, you won't be able to do your best work at optimum capacity if you're always trying to fight off entities that are attempting to hijack your light and your life. If they're trying to consume your being, imagine, you're always trying to swat away flies or hornets or, wasps or anything, lizards, chupacabras, whatever it is, the alligators and the lions or whatever it is, whatever the dragons that are trying, they're always there. They're always encroaching to the point where you're like, can you just back off? I can't do my work. Right. So I'm being silly, to lighten it up a little bit. But if we're always having to fight off, if we're always having to recover from being depleted or drained or having our energy hijacked, we won't be able to do our mission assignments and our soul work at optimum capacity. Unprotected empaths experience mental health challenges for sure. Looping, fixating on the past, frazzled, energy, poor decision-making, inconsistencies in lifestyle. So mental, physical, emotional, energetic, always we are affected. In addition, the lower subtle bodies are very impacted. So physically, you may experience pain or body aches without an actual medical diagnosis or reason. Energetically, your auric field the energy field it's the thinnest layer, the auric field, the energetic field. It takes the most hits of all of the subtle bodies. It fills them most, okay? And so your auric field is oftentimes extremely heavy with denser energy and residue and yuck, because you've just been absorbing it. And when we experience intense energies, it is supposed to pass through us as the channel, as the vessel, but it's not supposed to get locked into us like lint in a dryer, that just accumulates and builds up. The energies are supposed to come through us as the channel. We're supposed to clean and vortex out whatever, shift out whatever is not required in an environment or in a person or in a community. But that energy is not supposed to get stuck in us. That's a huge lesson for us empaths to learn how to filter out the dense and heavy energy. Now, also, the emotional subtle body oftentimes is plagued by or hijacked, and we become too vulnerable. We're too emotional. We appear to be unstable and not grounded as we're interacting with family, friends, and community. And then there's the mental body. The mental subtle body is affected. You might find that your mental sharpness seems to not be there. Your focus fades. You might experience mental loss, memory loss, or loss of executive functioning. And then our spiritual body is also affected, where we might have a loss or a dip in our faith. Your spiritual practices may begin to wane. You might find that you have more of a fear-based consciousness as opposed to a faith-based consciousness. All of these things, all of these attacks on the subtle body are the direct result of us not being as protected as we need to be. So no matter how powerful you are, dear, beautiful empath, as a healer, as a seer, as a light worker, without solid protection, your gifts will be watered down. So your energy will continuously be depleted if you don't have solid protection around you at all times. You will feel drained, exhausted, and overwhelmed. You may become annoyed, bitter, and even resentful with the people that you're working with or the humans in the vicinity. So, dear hearts, keep your temple pure. Okay, we've talked many weeks, or I've talked, you've listened. Maybe you've integrated living from the heart, the sanctuary of the heart, going back to base often, getting our command codes from base, refreshing, recharging in the heart space, so that we can remain aligned with the divine. This keeps the nefarious beings out, keeping your channel pure, keeping the temple, the body pure, the heart pure, the spirit pure, the thoughts pure. And even though they're lurking about, they won't be able to enter your temple. So you'll sense them. You'll feel these energetic frequencies around you with their spells and their nefarious agendas and their desire to hijack you, but you don't have to give them access. Don't be afraid, dear empaths, to close all doors, all windows, all openings, portals, vortices, everything. Don't be afraid to seal the gates, shut every nook, cranny, and crevice. I'm talking metaphorically. Of course, it might be, for real as well, but I'm talking metaphorically. Don't be afraid to shut down everything to keep the impure out of your sacred container. Close the channel after going deep. Cut cords, dissolve ties that bind, shut the doors, and lock all entrances, okay? So when we do our sacred work, oftentimes we open our channel and we open our consciousness to the divine so that we can be a clear, pure channel, downloading, our mission assignments. However, when you are done with your work, close the doors. Close them tight, okay? Shut them down. Always close them so that nothing else lurking around can get into a door that you left open, even if just a little bit. So the beauty of your gifts, dear empaths, are separate learning those gifts, honing those gifts. You're a seer, you're a clairaudient, you're a clairvoyant, whatever it is you do. You've got healing in your hands. You're a channeler, you're a writer, whatever it is you do, learning the beauty of those gifts and honing those gifts, while that is so very important, is a separate mechanism from learning to protect yourself. They're two separate mechanisms, and you must learn both. Number one, you want to activate, understand, and hone your gifts and your power as an empath so that you can be effective. We do that by remaining in the sanctuary of the heart, downloading our command codes, getting them directly from base, and then going out with gusto and doing our work. But number two, protect the gifts that you've been given and honor and protect your light. You've got to learn how to do this. The higher aspects of you, dear empath, do not, absolutely do not allow any hijacking to occur at any kind. Therefore, it's critical for us to remain in the sanctuary of the heart. Always invite your guardian protectors, your guardian angels, those higher beings, those angels, those ancient ancestors, and whoever it is that you work with that is a part of your lineage, those that you feel in line to call on. Always call on them to assist you in everything. And I mean everything. You go to the gym, you're going shopping, you're buying gifts for somebody, you're throwing a party, you're going to work, you're going to be driving, physical fitness, what you're going to eat, intentional eating, the whole thing. Invite the guides in for every single aspect of your life so you are protected in every single aspect of your life. I'll give you an example. Let's say that you're going to go have soup. So you go to a restaurant that you really like and you go to have that soup, but you didn't put your protection on and something in the soup was spoiled and you get food poisoning. But if you have your protective mechanisms in place because you've called in those beings that love you and want to help you with your nutrition and keep your body pure and healthy, they're going to be looking out for that. You might, be wanting to order the particular soup and something inside of you just says, no, I think I want the salad. Or, I think I'm going to go with that sandwich. Or, those mashed potatoes are sounding really good. You might have a switch in plans at the last minute because you're so dialed in, you're so protected, and you just don't go there. Okay. Or you eat the soup, you feel a little bit off, but you don't get the food poisoning, and you don't have the real sickness that you were going to have because the protection just helps you filter that out of your body really quickly. So let's talk real quick before I let you go. I want you to imagine that you have manifested a beautiful, beautiful mansion, the mansion of your dreams. It has absolutely everything that you want. It has, the yard. It has the view. It has, maybe it's 3 stories. You've got perfect closets. You've got indoor jacuzzis, outdoor jacuzzis. You've got the sauna. You got the gym. You got the movie room. You've got absolutely everything. The bedrooms are spectacular. The views are spectacular. The windows, the awnings, the chandeliers, everything amazing, pristine. You have done a good job manifesting your heart's dream. However, with this beautiful home that you have on the hill overlooking the ocean and the beauty, whatever it is to you, it might be the mountains or forest, whatever it is to you. If you leave your front door open and you leave all the windows open so anybody passing by can see, anybody who walks by or comes over can see that all your spectacular, everything, it's magnificent, but you don't lock doors, you don't lock windows, you leave everything open. People can just come in, they can take things. You'd never know because you're not paying attention. They could take your kid, they could take your pet. You have no idea what's going on because you leave everything so wide open. Dear hearts, we wouldn't do that, right? When we've worked so hard to manifest something beautiful, we may share it with the collective, but we also want to protect it. We want to honor it because it's sacred and we worked hard for that and we manifested it. Without protection, you are subject to vulnerability and violation, no different than that beautiful manifestation of that mansion that you manifested. Okay? Please, dear hearts, take this seriously now more than ever with everything going on in our world, with everything going on social media, with everything going on. You guys know what I'm talking about. Protect yourselves, honor your light. In the description box, you'll find 2 or 3 things that may be helpful. There's a protection prayer that I downloaded. There's a dissolving cords prayer that I downloaded. There's also a traditional cord cutting prayer. These may be helpful for you. And it really doesn't matter what you do. You don't have to use what I'm giving to you, but just do something. As long as you do something to keep yourself safe and protected, that's all that matters. I'm sending so much love and so much light to all of you. May you be protected in all ways, in all of your work, all of your endeavors, your families, your communities, your personal projects, your pets, your loved ones. May all of you be surrounded with love and pure light always. I look forward to seeing you again. Remember to protect yourselves, honor your path, honor your light, and I'll see you again.